Navigating the Predicting Alpha terminal is actually pretty simple, and in this walkthrough, we're going to focus on a couple key pages. If you bring your mouse over to the left, you can see a list of all the pages in the platform. And today we're going to talk about the home page, the scanner, the variance risk premium page, and the earnings page. Now, as a new member, these are really the pages that you're going to be using on a regular basis. Let's start with the home page. On your first day with us, if there is one thing that you do, I highly recommend it to be go through the Predicting Alpha Strategy Masterclass. We only do two things here, really. We sell options on ETFs and we sell options around earnings events. This course will teach you exactly how to do those two things. All you do is click the Start Learning button and it'll take you into the course. There's 3 chapters. Some of the trading fundamentals that we need to be on the same page about, how to run the ETF strategy start to finish, how to run the earnings strategy start to finish, and then to top it off, there's a final exam that tests your knowledge on the 2 courses. Once you've done that, all that's left to do is place trades for these strategies. And to make things as easy as possible for you, we have literally recommended trades for each of the strategies that are updated in real time based on the latest data. So if you're looking for which ETFs are the best to be selling right now, you want to put together your basket of trades, here you go. Pick a few of these and you can place trades on them right now. Looking for the same thing but for earnings, here's the companies that have earnings today rated by the ones that have the highest earnings backtest performance, right? Whichever strategy you're looking at, let's say it's the ETF strategy and you want to look at the top recommended one, DIA, you can click on it here and it'll actually take you over to the page for that strategy. If we hover on the sidebar here, you can see that it's the variance risk premium page. And this is where you can see a detailed report of all the key option premium data for this ticker, just like what you learned in the strategy masterclass. So here's an analysis of the variance risk premium. Here's the back test. And here's a little sandbox where you can plot your own implied and realized volatility numbers, which can be really useful when trying to analyze how things have changed in recent times. If we go back to the home page and we click on the top pick for the earnings strategy, you'll see that it brings us over to the earnings page for this ticker. If we hover on the sidebar again, you'll see we're on the earnings tab now. Here's all the key data for the earnings events, the back test, the individual event moves breakdown, all the data you need to make a really informed decision, which you're taught how to use in the strategy masterclass. Now, once you've got a couple trades on, you're probably going to want to start messing around with the scanner, which is really, in my opinion, the most valuable tool in the entire platform. To access it, you're just going to click the scanner tab here on the left. And what this does is it shows you a list of all the trades that meet a certain criteria. That's how the scanner works, right? By default, there are some preset scanners you can use, which can be accessed by using this dropdown here in the top left corner. So let's click on it. And you can see that we have a couple earnings scans, we have our ETF scan, and we actually have a calendar spread scan as well, which if you join the Discord, you'll see there's a lot of people trading calendar spreads as well, which is why we've included it. Just click on the scanner you're interested in. So for example, earnings premium. And it will pull up a list of everything that meets the criteria for this scan. Now, the criteria for these default scans is explained, once again, in the course, so you want to go through that. But basically, these are all tickers that potentially have a trade for us to take today for the earnings strategy, ranked by their earnings short straddle return. So you can scroll through this list, and it's pre-populated with what we believe is the most relevant data for you. So for earnings, for example, we can see the price of the company, the price change, the average option volume, so for liquidity, if the earnings is confirmed, the backtest performance, how much the IV is going to crush by, what's the implied earnings move, the average move, and a button to open the report, of course. So we already took a look at CHPT, but let's say we wanted to take a look at 5. Okay, we look at the data here. It looks like it's pretty good, pretty decent backtest return. We want to look at the analysis, click Open Analysis here, and it takes us over to the page and populates the data for 5. Now that's a general idea of how you navigate the terminal. And one more thing we'll look at quickly is how do you make small customizations to the scanner? So you can either start with a default scan and build on top of it and then save it as your own, or you can start a scan from scratch. Just to show you a rough idea of how this could work, let's start with this earnings premium scan. And let's say that we wanted to add a column for the implied volatility 30-day. And we also want to add a filter for liquidity where we want to see at least 10,000 daily contracts traded. So let's go ahead and do that. First, we're going to add the column for IV 30-day. To do that, we're going to come over here to the columns, click on it. And now I can scroll through this, or I could just type in something like IV, and it narrows it down for me. And then we can scroll down a bit here. There's IV 30-day. So let's add that. And you can see that now a column has been added for IV 30 day. Let's go ahead and adjust our filter for liquidity as well. So we come in here to filters, and we have a bunch of different categories, right? Earnings, calendar spreads, VRP, volatilities like IV data, stuff like that. Option, it's more like to do with the contracts. So option volume, probably more to do with the contracts. So let's click on here, and there we go. Average option volume. Let's set a minimum here at 10,000. And you can see actually in the background that the scan adjusted automatically. So let's dismiss now. And here, there's 3 trades that meet our criteria, given that we've adjusted it now and said that we want to see at least 10,000 contracts traded daily. What's left to do is to save the scan. Now you can't overwrite default scans, but you can build on them and then save them as your own. So you can do save as new, or if you tried to overwrite it, it actually will give you an error and then offer to save it as new instead. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's see, we'll save this as Sean's earnings scan. We create that. Nice. And now every time we sign into our account, under custom scans here in the drop-down list, we will have the one that we created. So that's the general idea of how you use the scanner. And really, you can think of the scanner as an accompanying tool for your own creativity. As you become a better volatility trader, better at option selling, you will start to have your own ideas about where there might be a risk premium we can capture. And this scanner will be so useful in helping you identify opportunities that meet your criteria. This is why it's the most powerful tool in my opinion. It allows you to actually pinpoint trades that meet your option selling specific criteria.